Good afternoon, students. Last lecture we have discussed the unit second, that is planning, and in that lecture we have discussed the concept, need, nature, management by objectives, process of MBO, benefits of MBO, then definition of planning, why planning is important for the managers, the basics of planning. You will learn the difference between formal and informal planning, why managers plan, and the various types of plan managers use. We will explore the strategic planning process and look at the various strategies available to the organizations and ways they can develop and maintain a competitive advantage. Why planning is important for the managers. Then definition of management by Peter F. Drucker. Management is a multi-purpose organ that manages business and manages managers and manages worker and work. Then definition, then nature of planning, that is characteristics of planning. What are the purpose of planning? Focus on objectives, increases efficiency, continuous process, intellectual process, selective process, future oriented, primary function. After that, need of planning, why planning is important. It mitigates the uncertainty, bring cooperation and coordination, utilize resources optimally, prepare and achieving the predetermined goal, reduce competition. After that, what are types of planning? What types of planning are? How many types of planning are? Then what are the standard and repeated plans, single user operating plan? In this lecture, we are going to study the planning process. What is the planning process and why it is important? For any planning, there is a process of the plan. So that is anyone remaining? All are good. Yes. The first is perception of planning, perception of opportunities. To overcome any opportunity or any challenges, there must be opportunity, and the threats can be overcome with the help of opportunities. The organization and employees are goal settlement, and they are taking the opportunities to grow the business. The plan can be dropped only when managers visualize or pursue an opportunity to establish a new unit or to grow and expand. Hence, this stage is prerequisite for planning process. There must be opportunities so that the organization as well as employee can grow, and the plan can be defined. Then second is establishment of objectives. What are the establishment objectives? Here, once the opportunity has been identified, the what are the objectives must be defined. There are two objectives, three objectives. There are objectives are many, but which objective must be taken on granted on first priority. Objectives provide a sense of direction to the organization. They help in identifying the areas that require special attention and also indicate the results that are necessary for the overall success of the organization. Here, third process is planning premises. Here, the goals are set, the objectives are defined. Here, the time is premises. What premises? Like there are internal as well as external factors. So, organization must have internal factors as well as external premises. So, these premises are the situations under which the planning process has to be implemented. Planning premises must be internal premises, such as internal premises are organization, like organization resources, capabilities, strength, structure, policies of the organization or HR policies. Whereas external premises must like government policies, budgets, economy, technological changes, price inflation. These are the planning premises. Some are internal as well, other are external. With the help of that internal as well as external, organization must mold themselves so that organization can be grow up. Identification of alternatives. The planning must have objectives. The objectives must have a plan, and what alternatives to be defined. So the alternative must be objective set. It is the manager here in this step. The manager must identify all those alternatives that may help the organization in fulfilling its predetermined goal. For example, if the objective is to go for international business, then a company can establish its position in the international market by adopting different strategies like merger, joint venture, management contracting, local manufacturing, or exporting business, like that. Evaluation of alternatives. Here, alternatives are evaluated so that the best alternative can be overcome. Here, depending upon the various constraints or assumptions set by the managers or relative feasibilities, the objectives can be evaluated on particular basis or previous basis or other competitor basis. In this particular step, each alternative is evaluated in terms of their contribution towards the achievement of the predetermined objectives. Then the sixth step is selection of alternative. Here, that is choice of alternative. In this step, the choice is defined, like it depends upon the competitor or changes in land prices. Like there are alternatives are various to grow the business organization. The if the government policies are changed or the new environment policies are changed, so that with the help of that alternative there must be a plan. Like if a plan is failed, there must be a B plan so that the alternative can be achieved. Then seventh is formation of supporting or supplementary plan. What are the formation of supplementary plan? Here the supporting plans can be a buying of land, then resource handling, employee engagement, support of raw material. These are the supplementary or supportive plans, which are not important, very much important for the organization. These are extra for the organization. Then eighth step is establishing sequence of activities. Here, that is plan A, plan B. So this sequence is followed so that the objectives as well as goal setting of the organization can be achieved. Once the primary steps, like primary that goal defining, objective defining is step. These steps involve deciding what will be done by whom and when. Means there is a coordination between amongst team, among diversion, among diversification of the company. Budgeting are also part of this step so that the plan has a concrete meaning and can be implemented successfully. So these are the planning process. That is perception of opportunities, establishment of objectives, planning premises, identification of alternative, evaluation of alternative, choice of alternative, formulation of supporting plan, and eighth is establishing sequence of activities. Here the next stage we are going to study the management by objectives. What is the management by objective and why it is important? It is a system in which specific performance objectives are jointly determined by subordinates and their supervisors. Progress towards objective is periodically reviewed and rewards are allotted on the basis of that progress. It is a management by objectives is a joint between employee as well as organization. With the help of employee engagement or employee satisfaction and employee verification, the management or organization must be define his goal so that there is a joint combination between employee as well as organization growth. Here many organizations they are helping the employees to set the performance of the objectives in an effort to achieve organization goal. One means of doing this is through a process called management by objective. It is a system in which specific performance objectives are jointly determined by subordinates and supervisors. Why it is important? Why MBO is management by objective is important? Uh, it is the concept which is driven by the Peter A. Drucker. MBO is the establishment of, according to Professor Redin, MBO is the establishment of effectiveness areas and its effectiveness standards for managerial position and the periodic conversions of these into measurable time-bound objectives linked vertically as well as horizontally for the future planning of the organization. So, what are the features? What are the features of the management by objective? Here, the objectives of employee on organization should be integrated so that it can be achieved with the help of both of them, that is, employee as well as organization. It is a short and long term objectives are combined with the help of management by objectives. Management can relate the objectives of the organization with the objectives of the society. With the objectives of the society. Along with organization goal, management by objective also focuses upon effective performance of the business. Yeah, the ability of the organization goal accomplishment is improved at all levels. Management by objective helps in motivating and satisfying the manpower of the organization. It enables the identification of manpower involvement in the process of establishing organization goals. Through management by objective, authority is replaced by discussion. Management by objective creates and encourages an environment that promotes performance, goodwill, and trust for the organization as well as employees. Here, process of management by objectives. So, what is the process of management by objective? That is, define organization goals, define employee objectives, continuous monitoring performance and progress, performance evaluation, providing feedback, performance appraisal. So, in the first is define organization goals. What organization goals can be defined so that the management by objective is defined with the help of employee as well as organization. These goals may be set jointly by the superior or subordinate, or they may be decided by the superior alone. Superior alone means there are ground staff which can be defined. There is a daily, weekly, daily sheet is there. Daily sales target is there. Daily visit targets are there. So these goals are set to be by subordinates. Then second is define employee objectives. Why? What employee objectives are must be defined. The manager needs to keep in mind the roles and responsibilities of its employees. He may use his organization chart for this purpose. So there is a first level, second layer, and third level employees. So manager is second layer employee, and he must define his objective and work which is to be done by the employees. The subordinate write down his personal goals, and these are then aligned to the goals that the manager has set for the subordinate. The final goals are then decided and put in writing. Then third is continuous monitoring performance and progress. So performance is evaluated. The performance standard for the decided goals are then set. These pertain for particular time period. The subordinate does have clarity on what is required to be done, how much has to be done, and how much remains. There is a performance reviews of the employee. There is a daily as well as weekly as well as monthly target, which is to be evaluated by the manager. That these 100 visits you have to done within a week or within a month. So how much visits have been completed by the employee? Only 80 or beyond the 100, that is 120. It is beyond 100, it is a good performer. The employee is good performer. It is below the 100, it is a low performer. So these performance evaluation is great. Then set checkposts. Checkposts are the standards or the defined goals by the management, so that these standards can have you have achieved. Then there is a sales target, there is a tour, or there is a weekly tour for the manager. These also highlight training needs to be subordinate and also bring to the four events which affect the organization performance, but which cannot be controlled by the subordinate. Then it's providing feedback. So feedback is provided by the employees. It is found that employees who get regular and timely feedback over their job performance are more motivated than those employees who work in haphazard environment. It also helps the employees to know where they stand in the organization in terms of their performance against the expectations set. So this is the process of management by objective. First is defining organization goals, define employee objectives, continuous monitoring performance and progress, performance evaluation, providing feedback, and fifth is performance appraisal. What is the process of management objectives? It is used for better utilization of resources, aid in planning, development of personnel, better teamwork, better coordination within the teamwork, concentration on key result areas, objective evaluation, result orientation, sound organization structure. So these are the some process of the management of organization. So there are various advantages as well as disadvantages of the management of objective. That it motivates and encourages employee, so that the employee as well as management would be helpful and would be a goal achiever. The managers are most likely to compete with themselves than with the honest manager. That is, management by objective help in reducing the internal conflict and minor disputes that arise between the managers of the same company. It yields a chain. It gives criteria for the objective appraisal. For performance, there must be a performance, there must be a appraisal. If the performance is good, there must be a good appraisal. Here facilitates planning. Here management by objective facilitates the planning structure of the organization by assisting the top management in establishing objective and strategies. Here prior identification of the problems. Here management by objectives define set targets, and it identifies the problems so that its problems can be overcome. Identifies performance deficiencies. The frequent reviews in management by objective allow the managers to identify various deficiencies in performance and plan remedial actions accordingly. Facilitate leadership development. What leadership should be developed within the employees, and how employees can take initiatives with the help of this management by objective. That the employees can develop their leadership potential. It also improves monitoring skill, associate aspect of listening, counseling, motivating, and evaluating. With the help of advantages, there are also various disadvantages of the management of objectives. which are pressure oriented. It defines or it creates a pressure within the employee that the set target or set predetermined goals are there. So he must have to achieve that so that his performance can be increased and appraisal can be achieved. It is time consuming. The process is various joint venture between the employers or the organization. So it takes various times, and the management also has to hold many meetings to train subordinates. For that meeting, for that training, there is various time processes going. It increases paperwork. If paperwork is increased, that organize we have to organize that event. So the paper event and performance data booklets are there, performance set targets are there. There may be Excel sheets. So these paper must be increased. Organization problems. Management objective is not a all problems that the organization faces. It becomes a major failure when the concept is introduced without proper explanation and training. So we have discussed various concepts regarding planning, that is the need of the planning, definition of the planning, nature of the characteristics of the planning, the need of planning, then types of planning, then process of planning, what is the planning process, then management by objectives, process of the objectives, the advantages and disadvantages. Now we are going to study the next chapter, chapter, that is planning and performance, goals and plans, types of plans. What are the types of plan? What are the goals is? So what the goal is? Every person, employee or a whole company wants to accomplish certain goal or target. Goal are also known as objectives, and those two words can be substituted or exchanged with each other. That is targets or goal. So our organization has a goal, or employee have a target. So goals serve as an important motivational factor and are regarded as important instrument for monitoring one's own performance as well as of others. The objective of goal setting is to motivate employee of the organization to achieve their goals. Moreover, employees are made aware of the goals that are most significant to them. Goals enable people to enjoy the feelings of self-achievement. Here, according to Robbie, an organization falling short of its target might set up task force to develop a new policies for achieving a higher level of goal attainment. Goals can also provide a rationale for designing the organization. A goal of rapid growth through introduction of new products may lead an organization to create strong R&D department, that is research and development department, to create a mechanism for the close integration among the engineering, marketing, and R&D department. There are various departments in the organization like R&D department, research and development department, then manufacturing department, marketing department, operations department, store department. So these departments they have certain goals, certain plans, so that the goal and daily work can be achieved with the smooth. Sure, what are the features of the goals? It must be specific, it must be realistic and challenging, time constraint, measurable, level oriented goals. There must be commitment. So what is the importance of planning? There is a very importance of the planning, that planning reduces uncertainty of future events. Okay. It makes objective clear and specific. Planning brings economy in operation. It provides basis of control. It establishes unity and coordination. It takes optimum utilization of available resources. It helps to control hasty decisions. And it is overall development of the organization. It reduces uncertainty of future events. Here, where there are various events or future events can be planned by the organization, so that there must be a target or there must be a goal achievement for the organization. To achieve that goal, there must be a future event, so that there is a smooth flow for the future events. Here, the objectives of the clear and specific. It must be clear and specific, so that there is no any fights between managers or employees. So that objectives must be clear and the goal oriented and target specific driven, so that there is no any miscommunication between the management as well as the employee. There is brings a law economy in operation. It creates economy in operation means the operation. There are various operations. That is sales operations is there, store management is there, HR operations is there. So there is a budget planning is there, and the organization has to achieve that budget, achieve that business within that month, within that year, or within the with the help of 5 year period. So there is a smooth flow between the operations. It provides the control and coordination between the employees, subordinates, managers, other customers of the company, other vendors of the company, so that there is a smooth coordination and smooth flow between that company as well as the organization, as well as employee, as well as vendor, as well as managers. There must be optimal utilization of available resources. There are various employees in the organization, so these employees are helpful for achievement of that organization. So that available resources must be a machinery, main material. So these are the resources that must be available within the time period. So it is the overall development of the organization, which increases the integration between the organization, employee, vendors, managers, subordinate teams. It is also serves as a great unifying force that it seeks to bring unison and integrity in all activities of the organization. Then there are limitations of planning. There are what are the limitations of the planning? First is inflexibility, misdirection, time-taking exercise, false sense security, inaccurate information, uncertainty, limits internal flexibility, and external constraints. So first is inflexibility. What is inflexibility? Why there is inflexibility? That is why there is a limitation of planning. Because if the work is not to be done by the employee or subordinate employee, that work is pending and it must be flexible in the nature. Here, once a plan has been agreed upon, it is not easy to deviate from the selected course of action. Here, the plan or the goal or objective achievement taken by the or given by the manager, it must be taken by employees or the plant. The work must be completed. This rigidity acts as a barrier for the employees in successful implementation of their function. Then second is mid-direction. There are various false mistakes taken by manager, which are to be handled by the employees. And planners or managers try to formulate the objectives and plans to serve their personal interests rather than achieving the overall goals of the organization. It is a time-taking exercise. Yes, it is a plan. For every plan, there must be organization. There must be various events for goal taking. So it is a timing activity. There must be a data. There must be a paperwork. There must be analysis. There must be forecasting, and the two or three or many employees are work for that plan. It is a time taking, hence it is a time taking activity. This makes planning impractical in emergencies, which require immediate response and action. Your false sense of security. The very existence of plan induces a false sense of confidence and security. Here, the employees are contented with the set plan, yet they are not encouraged or motivated to improve the performance or productivity. The employees are achieved means they are only doing their daily activities. If there is a new task or there is a new activity, there must be a discourage, so that they must be motivated by the manager. Then inaccurate information. Here, the most sophisticated modeling tools available to planners, assumptions, and forecasts can still go wrong because if the manager does not coordinate with his employee, there must be inaccurate information passes within the employees. There is uncertainty about what? Here, the future, uncertainty about future. Here, changes in business condition, changes in business environment, changes in machinery, changes in planning. It can obsolete the traditional way and it can take new ways, that is technological advancements within the organization. So there is a uncertainty for the employees, or they can change their behavior, uh, or they can drop down their papers because they don't want changes in its organization. Limits internal flexibility. Internal flexibility means employee psychology, set policies and procedures given by the organization or taken by the organization. So the changes, if there are any changes, the management and the employee must be integrated. So external constraint. What external constraints must be adopted that plan? Like external constraint, like political factors. There are political policies, budgets, economies handling, and foreign policies are coming. Foreign development is coming. Trade unions are employee unions are there. So with the help of these factors or external constraints, the management must have to take decisions according to the employees or employee welfare. So these are the limitations of the planning. First is inflexibility, misdirection, time-taking exercise, false sense of security, inaccurate information, uncertainty, limits internal flexibility and external constraints. Then next is reasons for failure planning. What are the reasons for failure planning? First is lack of support, lack of integration, lack of understanding, lack of direct involvement, exclusive responsibility of planning departments, too much planning, inflexibility, lack of interest to implement the plan. So first is lack of support. Lack of support from whom? From employees, from subordinates, from vendors, from stockyard peoples, for staff, from materials department, from finance department, so if there is an activity or there any adjective or objective of the goal, there must be a plan. There must be a plan, defined plan. If that planning is not there, the plan must fail. Because there is not support from employees, not support from staff, there is not support from finance or HR or employees. So because of that lack of support, the plan cannot be go forward. Then second is lack of integration. Integration with whom? So there is a integration with other activities also, other department also. So there must be integration within the functions. There are various functions in the organization. So there is must be an integration. There must be a coordination within that uh, organization. And third is lack of understanding. The various facets of the dimension of the planning, like budgeting, operations, marketing team, strategy team, finance team, they are not properly understood what the plan is, what are the future plan is, and how the company is changing their technological advancement is doing. So there must be a understanding for the managers as well as the employees. Then fourth is too much planning, or there is a lack of direct involvement. Direct involvement by whom? By specialists, by involvement of managers. This tenders the planning process in isolation. The lack of involvement reduces the responsibility and accountability of the line managers that who are responsible for this activity. They are becoming obsolete. Exclusive responsibility of planning department. Here, various organizations are there are taking responsibility of planning department. This restricts the involvement of managers in the planning process, thereby limiting their role in planning activities. Then sixth is too much planning. There are various times there too much planning, too much activities are programmed, so that the main work is can be obsolete. So the planning is smooth implementation of the various activities. Then inflexibility. Inflexibility with whom? Top managers ignore the planning premises. They tend to forget that in assumptions behind planning can change or go wrong, thereby necessitating the modifications. Lack of interest to implement the plan. There must be interest for the employee as well as manager as well as subordinate members to implement the plan. If there is no implementation of the plan can be failed. So these are the reasons for failure planning. Lack of support, lack of integration, lack of understanding, lack of direct involvement, exclusive responsibility of the planning department, too much planning, inflexibility, lack of interest to implement the plan. Here, what is the making planning effective? What must be done so that the planning is effective? First is well-defined objective, developing organization system, involvement of top management, board participation, dissemination of planning information, connecting the long-term and as well as short-term plans. There must be a flexibility within the plan, analysis of cost and benefits, accurate forecasting. So if it is what is well-defined objective, there must be a well-defined objective, there must be a well-defined goal, so that it is understandable for the subordinate as well as manager as well as the employee. It is the starting point of the plan, so that the objectives can be clearly defined, clearly stated. It must be realistic, it must be attainable, so that here properly defined objectives provide a definite path for the plans, their successful implementation. The second is developing organization system. What organization system must be developed so that the plan can be effective? It can be achieved by developing organization systems that provide assistance in implementing the plans. These organization systems should be created to motivate the managers to actively participate in the planning process. Then third is involvement of top management. There must be an involvement of top management so that the plan as well as the objective can be defined and can be organized at a very smooth level from the subordinate members. Strategic plans should be developed by the top management and department plans should be developed by the middle as well as operation as well as the middle level managers. These department plans should be prepared in accordance with the strategic plan. Then for this board participation, there must be a board or lower board or as well as higher board so that it can be participated at various levels like from top level management, middle level management as well as the third level, that is tertiary level management. The managers and workers should work collectively or collaboratively for setting goals and objectives. Here, planning committees are using wider participation so that the plan or objective can be defined. Then fifth is connecting the long term as well as the short term plan. Here the long term plan, it must be a long term plan of 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, within 50 years, or short term plans is daily work, weekly work, or within a monthly work. So it is a short term plans can be reviewed, it can supplemented so that the long term plan can be achieved. So that the short term planning is important. Then flexibility. What is the flexibility? Flexibility within the organization, within the managers, so that the plan as well as performance can be evaluated by the managers. According to that plan, the managers prepare a alternative and contingency plan for the foreseeable future risk. So if the plan A is failed, there must be a plan B so that the manager is in safe, is in flexible mode. Analysis of the cost and benefits. Here organizations are analyze various costs and various benefits for the organization. If the benefit for the organization, the management can define its cost. Cost benefit analysis can help the managers in taking necessary steps for the minimizing planning cost. The company can take measures like formulation of quantitative objectives, effective decision making, timely modifications, etc. Accurate forecasting. There must be a forecasting for 5 years, 10 years period, or 50 years period, or 60 years period, like to 2010, 2020, 2030, 2030, 2040, 2050. So that there is a forecasting and the sales targets, sales revenue, as well as the company stocks, as well as the company analysis, as well as branching level area is must be at broad level. So forecasting helps the company and is the ability of the accurately and scientifically predict the future of the organization with respect to the changing factors of the business environment. So what make planning effective? First is well-defined objective, developing organization system, involvement of top management, board participation, dissemination of planning information, connecting the long-term as well as short-term plan, flexibility, analysis of cost benefits, and accurate forecasting. What are the goal? What is the main definition of plan? What is meant by plan? What is meant by goal? Here, according to King and Glendale, goal is to establish a vanilla tone or organizational climate to serve as a crucial point for those who can identify with the organization purpose and direction and to defer those who cannot from participating in the organization activities to facilitate translation of broad purposes and mission into identifiable tasks. So, an organization failing short of its targets might set up task force to develop new policies for achieving a higher level of goal attainment. Goals can also provide a rationale for designing the organization. Goal of rapid growth through introduction of new products may lead an organization to create a strong R&D department and to create a mechanism for close integration among engineering, marketing, and R&D departments. So, what are the features of the goals? Feature must be specific. It must be realistic and challenging. There must be a time constraint for the goal. There must be a goal within a time period. That must be measurable, level oriented goal, commitment. So what is the specific? The goal should clearly specify targets to be achieved and the task to be fulfilled. So it helps the manager in evaluating the performance at regular levels or regular intervals. So it must be a specific, like objective. So the the goal must be a specific, realistic and challenging. It must be a realistic and challenging. Here, it must be employees can be attainable or it can be achievable, so that it must be realistic and can be achievable by the employees. It should be challenging also, so that it can encourage the employees to improve their performances by searching new and creative ways or technological ways or changes in the organization by carrying out of the organizational activities, which helps the organization to to create a competitive level. Third is time constraint. Here, there must be a goal within the time period. There must be a goal for the 2 year, 3 year, 3 year, 4 year, or within a year. So it must be time oriented. It was a deadline to the employees so that the work or the goal can be achieved, can be completed within that time period. So it can improve the performance for achieving or success within the time constraint. Fourth is measurable. It must be a quantitative level. It must be in number. It must be measurable, so that the outcome or outcome of the plan or goal can be estimated. Fifth is level-oriented goal. Here, what is the level-oriented goal? It can be on the other hand, that is short-term goal as well as there is a long-term goal. It must be a level, like short-term level as well as long-term level, so that it can be achieved by the lower level management. For example, quality control and cost reduction are the goals of upper and middle level managers. Employee motivation and performance evaluation are the goals of lower level management. So there must be lower level as well as high level goals. Sixth is commitment. Commitment for the what? For the set goals. There must be a commitment from the lower level employees or managers for the commitment of goals. There must be a setting process. If the management does not include the employee in setting the goals, then every aspect relating to goal setting should be communicated clearly to them, so that there not be a miscommunication within the organization. Then, what are types of goals? There are three types of goals. First is official goals, operative goals, and third is operational goal. So, what is first? First is official goal. What are the official goals? It the goals that activates the organization and stabilize the organization in its environment. These goals, that is official goals, are mentioned in the documents published in the organization periodically, such as Memorandum of Association, that is MA, MOU, annual performance report by the top level management. So these are the official goals. Second is operative goal. What is the operative goal? It wishes to achieve from the employees as well as the manager, as well as the operative policies. These goals help the manager in reducing the possibilities of uncertainty while remaining attentive. These are designed by the managers as well as top level management, so that it can be operated by the lower level management. And third is operational goals. What are the operational goals? These are set by the middle level managers for supervising or controlling the subordinates. These goals help in measuring the performance of the employees, which are the third level managers like salespersons, executives, admin members. So these are the operational goals. Setting goals and developing plans. So what is setting goals and developing plans? There are various steps. There are various benefits which are used or which are defined for setting goals and developing plans. What are these? That is set smart. It must be specific. It must be measurable. It must be attainable. It must be relevant. And it is time bound, so that these goals can be achieved. The benefits. What benefits are derived by goal setting? First, it escalates confidence levels. It escalates confidence level within the employees as well as managers, so that these predetermined goals are achieved with the help of various strategies or various characteristics. It helps one concentrate on his work, concentrate on his objective as well as the organization objective to achieve that goal. It guides one individual by offering a specific direction. The direction must be given by top level management as well as the managers, so that the employees can work hard and achieve the organization level. It stimulates interest levels of an individual. It helps the to lead the new task, to lead the management, to lead the various tasks, so that it fosters or it creates various new opportunities within that goal. Why goal is setting is important. When you set goals, you take control of your lives or your work's direction. That goals provides you with focus. The decisions you make and actions you take should bring you closer to achieving their goals. The setting goals keeps you moving, increases your happiness, and significantly benefits your organization. When you set goals, you create a vision of what your life or your business could look like. Then you start pushing yourself and your team to get the best suitable results. So what are the approaches of the setting goals? Your first is think about results you want to say. That result, there must be a goal, there must be a objectives so that these can be achieved. The results can be seen with the help of managers. The long list of goals to pursue all set time. Then second is create smart goals. That is must be the goal must be a specific, it must be a measurable, it must be attainable, it must be a realistic and time bound. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, time bound, as well as called as SMART criteria. Here the SMART criteria is more important as it creates a specific goal, as it creates specific that your goal and higher level chance to complete it. Yeah, for example, many people set goals to lose weight, but they don't know, always decide how much weight they want to lose. And when they want to complete this goal, a specific goal, that is, I want to lose 25 kg within a period of 4 months, within a period of 2 months. So this goal provides an exact amount or exact quantitative term to lose the weight. The third is write your goals down. So there is a daily diary, daily employee diary, daily manager diary. So the goals or the objective or the plan can be write down so that it can be achieved within a period of daily or weekly or within a 2 or 3 months period. Create an action plan. Action plan is very important so that the written or the mindset with the action plan can be achieved. Here, your action plan should indicate overall goal you are trying to meet and all steps you need to take to get there. Fifth is create a timeline. Your timeline creates a plan. It creates a goal so that it can be achieved within a specific period of timeline. That is 2 months, 3 months, or 1 year within a period of 5 years, within a period of 10 years. A timeline creates a sense of urgency, which in turn motivates the employees as well as managers to schedule their tasks and achieve that task. Here, the taking of action. If the task is not to be done, or there must be a delay in the task or any goal, there must be action taken by the top management. Reevaluate and assess your progress. Here, your scheduling of the tasks, scheduling of the weekly activities, scheduling of the yearly activities, so that it can finish within a finished time period. What are developing plans? What is the development of plans? There are two plans, that is strategic planning as well as operational planning. A strategic plan is developed to help the organization achieve its long-term vision. Conversely, operating plans involve the process of deciding what needs to be done to achieve the tactical objectives of the business. Here, operational planning is done to support strategic planning efforts. What is the importance of goal setting? Here, what is goal setting is important. Uh, First, it's goals also help in align the focus and promote self of setting of goals. Here first is mobilizes energy, increases chances of success, increases concentration, assess performance, provide motivation, increase awareness, specific priorities. So first is mobilizes energy. Here goal setting helps in mobilizing the overall energy of the organization. When the organization is directed towards achieving small number of important targets, then the organization energy is focused towards achieving strategic objectives. Then second is increases chances of success. Here, goal setting is important. With the help of that, the chances of success getting increased by setting definite targets and laying down specific methods for their achievement. Goal can be achieved. Then third is increases concentration. Here, goal setting enables an employee to improve his concentration by focusing on critical success factors. For achievement of goal, it is essential that person must express his desire for accomplishment. And fourth is access performance. Here performance must be accessed so that one can define his goal and can be measured. Here goals can be used at the time of employee assessment to determine the level of achievement against the laid down goals. Here goals enable the management to identify critical changes necessary to bring improvement in the future. Fifth is provide motivation. Here the goal setting is structured to motivate employee as well as manager in a meaningful direction and in meaningful action. When the employee is engaged in the process of goal setting, it develops specific interest in the achievement of that goal. This engagement at the emotional level serves as a great motivating force in achieving the stated goals. Six is increases awareness. Here, goal setting makes a person aware of his strength and weakness. While working towards goal achievement, employees get aware of that areas that need improvement. And seventh is specific priorities. There must be specific priorities for goal setting. The employees can face various problems. So the priorities of the employees is families, or salaries, monthly employees. In the absence of defined goals, employees tend to spend time on distracting things than on meaningful tasks. These distractions may include computer games, web surfing, etc. Their goal setting creates a clear action plan for the employees that force them to define their priorities and reduce distractions. So we have discussed in this lecture, that is planning and performance, goals and plans, types of plans, setting goals and development of goals, planning performance, importance of planning, limitation of planning, reasons and failure of planning, making planning effective, what criteria must be defined so that planning must be effective, then goals and plans, what are the definition of goal and plan, then features of goals, what are the features of the goals and how it can be achieved, then setting goals and developing goals, and then developing plans and importance of goal setting. And second, in that lecture we have studied that need, nature of planning, what is the planning, how it is important for the planning, and management of objective, why advantages and disadvantages of the management of objective, concept of planning, definition of planning, characteristics of the planning, types of plan, need of planning, then process of planning, purchase of opportunities, establishment of objective, planning premises, identification of alternative, evaluation of alternative, choice of alternative, formulation of supporting plan, establishing sequence of activities, then management by objective, why management by objective is important, how management by objective helps the employee as well as the organization. Here it is a system in which specific performance objectives are jointly means management, organization as well as the employees by subordinates and their supervisors. That progress towards objective is periodically reviewed and rewards are allocated on the basis of that progress of the organization as well as employees. Then process of management of objective, what are the organization goals, define employee objectives, define organizational objectives, continuous monitoring performance of the progress, performance evaluation, providing feedback, performance appraisal, then process of management by objectives, better utilization of resources, aid in planning, development of personnel, better teamwork, concentration on key result areas, objective evaluation, result orientation, and in third lecture we are going to study the what is management by objectives, how management by objectives is important in organization, then guidelines for effective management by objectives, then advantages and disadvantages of the management by objectives, then what is the developing of plans, how reasons of failure of the planning, the importance of planning, what are the approaches to planning, what is the top down approach, what is the bottom down approach, team approach, what is the composite approach, we are going to discuss in next lecture. Okay, thank you.